What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Don with the Don Fran Show. Don't usually have a Friday video, but as Tesla closes the week, want to talk about what Tesla did, what it could do, kind of just what happened. Because I think a lot of you guys, well, you're probably new and you don't understand just why it pushed up. You really think a lot of this is due because of news. You think, so Hertz bought 100,000 cars, and they have a deal, 100,000 cars, Model Ys, for the next 14 months. Huge news, by the way. Even more news that we'll get into it. You see how it kind of just did nothing right here. Indecisive day, kind of went sideways. They announced they might even buy 100,000 more. All right. But what some of you guys are probably missing is the gamma squeeze. Why things pop up the way they do. It's because market makers like to do delta hedging. And if you don't know what that is, I do have a whole video called Total Technical Analysis. And I do talk about how I break stuff down. So you look at the past and look at the charts. I guess it'd be that way because I'm mirrored. Then using options to go forward. And so while this is my chart, somebody in the mentorship, shout out to Vinay. He drew these up. So these are the standard deviations. So real quick, you see how we just get above this one? These are what we draw out every Sunday, most of the Sundays, as long as I don't forget. We draw this out on the Russell, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. It's because this is where market makers have their hedges placed. This is what they're pricing in this move. They're hedged for that. So you go out and buy most of your YOLO options contracts expire worthless. Okay, but when you do buy one closer to at the money, let's say you're grabbing 50 deltas. It's right at the money call contract. You are the market maker that provided that liquidity for you. So here it is. You got, let's just say you're on the field, your football teams, right? You're on the field and institutions are on the other side. The person who provides that liquidity while you guys are playing that back and forth game is the field, right? The market makers. They are just the field they play on. Their job is to be neutral. Much like you tell everybody in the chat you have no emotions, they really are. So when you go out and buy an at-the-money call option, your delta is going to be right around the 50 mark. You're controlling 50 shares. That market maker that provided that is now short 50 soft deltas. Now they have to go out and buy shares to hedge your position. So that's essentially how you create the gamma squeeze. We get outside these. They're saying we have enough shares for these parameters. Sometimes it's a multiple, sometimes it's a 1-to-1 ratio. There's algorithms for this, not just dead on as he bought 50, so we got to buy 50. In some cases it is, but you get the closer to I'm just shy of out of the money, so they grab a few enough to cover most, and in most scenarios. Remember, they need to stay neutral delta. And that's something you see in the options contracts. But when we get outside these standard deviations, what happens next? We got to rein it back in, or we got to start hedging. This is where the gamma squeeze comes from. This is what you saw for Tesla. Now look at this week. We weren't expecting much of a move this week. That was big news. That was news that surprised. So at that point, yes, it pushed up. It now gets the popularity. Now you got the Wall Street bettors, the people that don't know anything about options. They're buying out of the money options contracts. Now, as it gets out of, now what was out of the money as it just pushed up is now in the money. So now they have to hedge for that, which is buy side activity. They got to buy shares. You just bought calls, but to hedge your bet, now they have to buy shares, which fuels it, pumps it even more. Now the YOLOers that are up here, now theirs need to be accounted for, and that's how you get it pushed up and push up. And that's where we get into these just spiral ups where it launches. This is what happened with GameStop. We've seen it with Tesla a time or two before as well. But look at the difference. This is why I pulled up Vinay's chart, because he went ahead and drew it out for us already. Just much less work for me. Shout out to the mentorship group and you guys that make my job easy. Drew out next week. Look at this little move we're making. We were pricing in this much of a move, and surprise, we got outside of it. Now look at the move we're pricing in next week, about a $100 move. So as long as Tesla remains inside of 10, 11, or 12, 16, we're going to be we'll have normal market movement. The volatility will come when we get outside of this. Notice how we kind of stayed inside here and then we just snapped back up here. Remember when I say this on my Sunday live streams, I go live on Sunday and Wednesday to talk about what I want to see going forward. There's a reason we draw these out for the week on Sunday, because that's where the volatility comes in. These are not support and resistance levels. These are when we get to the other side of that fence, look out. This is the exact reason why I grab puts on my Tesla position. So I'm in Tesla Leaps, I'm in Tesla shares, right? I have a whole bunch of long deltas. I did buy 2 puts, the 1,000 strike for next week. Now I'm riding those out to zero or making money. That was my plan. Not this is house money, not whatever everybody says in a chat to make themselves feel better. There's no ego involved here. If there was a solid entry for me to go in long, I would have added. But the reason I did was because I saw we were pushing up, and I know this is a gamma squeeze. This isn't a good news push. It caused a little bit of a chunk and then now market makers are delta hedging to get to a neutral delta. So could the hype continue? Sure. But I love shorting these for that reason, because I know the next week we're pricing in a big move, and I do like selling calls against it as well because Vega is up. While Tesla's pushing up, my puts, aside from today, while Tesla pushed up, my puts went up because volatility increased. So I made money on puts while the stock was going up. And so next week we're pricing in a bigger move, which means we know it's coming. And at that point, the excitement might not be there. You won't see that rally up, and people might start to take profits. How many people are in Tesla and they think it's at the moon right now? It's up there. There's just not a great entry to go long right now. Like, I don't like buying the top, and I'm on YouTube to help you guys from buying the top. What I don't want you guys to do, and check this, this is actual comment on here. Just y'all keep shorting Tesla, laughing. See, Don, that's why I don't listen to YouTubers. Short Tesla, keep on shorting it, give me free money. Now, my exact reply was, show me another profitable trade. Sarcasm. Anybody in the chat will tell you they're profitable every day and they never lose. But see the all caps there? See the reply? I couldn't wait to reply. That's an emotional response to how much money he's made off this. So congrats to anybody that did make money off of Tesla. But this is the time to not... You guys think emotions only come in red candles because you're just blind to the fact. You've gotten so comfortable with red candles that a green one's just exciting and a nice change of pace for you. And that's what I want. That's a lot of things I talk about with the people in my mentorship is... You get comfortable with red because you've probably seen more of it. You need to be comfortable with green. All of it is an emotional response, and your head isn't clear. You think it's going to do this next week. You're probably thinking 1,300, 1,400. You saw on some options flow they bought 2,000 calls for next year, and you're thinking this thing's going to keep going. And you're completely blind to the fact that the rug might get pulled. There's just no way in your mind it will. The only thing you're looking is up without any care in the world to what's around the corner or possibly around the corner. I'm not saying it's going to go down. I do have a short position, but if you're listening and you're paying attention, I am ultimately long Tesla. It's really stupid to be the people that just flat out short Tesla. How many times do you need to get beat over the head to realize that's just not a good play? I talk about my short position because that's the more active position. Like, I'm not selling my shares. That seems kind of silly. I will load up when it does sell off. But I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention because if next week things look different, that's why. And different doesn't necessarily mean up or down. It just means we're on the dance floor. And things could get wild. It could go flat sideways while people just stand around and look at each other like, what is this going to do? Should I buy more? If the YOLOers keep coming, they need to push it above 12.16. Winnie the Pooh and your friends, if you're going to try to send this thing to the dirt, you got to break that $1,000 mark. We might just get, now don't take this to heart. We might get to 1230. We might get to the $1,000 mark. That's not the gun going off at a track meet. Getting out there and closing behind it, and we don't pull back, that's the sign we're going to snap. Just right here, we got above it, we came back. Got above it, came back. Got above, closed. That's the warning shot. That's when we might fire off and go right to that next standard deviation quick. There's some hedging going on right there. So when you see that on these days, remember these levels right here. You could just subscribe. You could screenshot this. You could be a YouTube member and have these on your charts. But you do you. I'm making this video to bring out the attention that I absolutely love Tesla, and I'm going to buy more of it. But I don't like to buy the top. Could go to 3,000. That's fine. I made a whole bunch of money. I have a plan for all my positions. I'm curious, when I see how many of you guys bought at 1,100, how many do you guys have a plan? Some of you guys are getting emotional, and you take that as an attack. Hopefully the guy I just pulled up his comment doesn't take that as an attack. I've been doing this for a while. And the reason I do so well is because I don't have emotions like that. I'm comfortable with green candles. I don't care about the red ones when they come either. You need to have that plan. You need to be aware of what's actually going on. You think all of this was because good news. Good news happened. Let's bring up when all the. If you think all this is good news, okay, good news. That's all. Here's this was Hertz, right? Bounced around back and forth. How many good news articles? How many banks upgraded their price? When did Hertz say they were going to buy another 100,000? I'll give you a hint. It's in the 2 days where it went and did nothing. Okay, so be careful of just listening to the news that suits your needs. Two sides. Get a coin. If this is your reminder, I keep it on my desk. This is not cheesy. This is silver dollar. There is always two sides of the coin. What is the other side? Are you prepared for that? So congrats to everybody that's trying. There's people in my mentorship group that are just rocking this thing to the long side. And they are saying as long as I keep shorting it, it just keeps moving. So I'm happy to help. What more can I do for you guys? But I will gladly take the L on these puts because my position just went up even more. I have, you guys, my leap, if you are subscribed to my channel, I told you guys when I got it on here, I had a 750 strike call for January 2024. I bought it for 23,000. I'll let you go to the option chain and tell you how much it's up. Oh, hang on. Let me spare you a little bit. 2024. Let's get to the... I haven't even checked it today. It's right there. We're at about 51, 52,000. Okay? I'm fine. I'm fine with those puts going to zero. But at the same time, what I'm looking out for is a snap back because I'm well aware. And if you did short this, if you bought some puts for the snap back, I would say as a trader, you probably lost or you're down. Maybe you've already locked in that loss. Some people in my group shorted this and they already went back in long. They made money. There's 100 ways to play this. If you tried to short it, I would actually argue that was probably the better play. Jumping in long after we're 2 or 3 standard deviations broken out of the box, why would you take that play? I mean, there's a reason I didn't. I would never do that. But, I shorted it. Some plays don't pan out. I would still... There's plays... You want to look back and think, should I have known better? This is one of those times where it was probably more the market than you. You took a jab. You tried your best. It didn't pan out. Not every trade will. People that bag hold, they love to think. Just imagine what bag holders think. They are only going to sell when it's green. They're going to be the one person in the entire universe that never loses a trade. That's why they don't have accounts anymore, because they buy, hold, and hope. Their risk management is only to scale out when they're green. Everything else is to the floor. You've watched tickers just go down and down and down, and here they are. But every trade they've ever locked in is green. Right? There's a problem with that, and usually it's with their account is gone. My account is fueled with people that take those positions because there's a buyer and seller in every transaction. I've sold plenty of shares to people. And their accounts have went down, right? I sell calls to those people all the time. I don't know about selling calls on Tesla. That'd be a little dangerous. I'd rather just buy the puts on that, but maybe sell a call spread when it's up here. Anyway, wanted to bring it to you guys' attention because Tesla is pricing in a party next week. Last week, when we get the gamma squeezes, when they price in a $3 move, and surprise, surprise, we got outside of that, that's where volatility happens. We price in a mega move like this, no one's doing anything. People that sold those options contracts are taking advantage because right now when we look at these options contracts, let's go to next week. This is where YOLOers get burned. People that don't know anything about options, they're buying way out of the money. They're going to get smoked because the people that know what options contracts are going to take advantage of that. This is where they sell premium because right now you've never sold. Let's go out to the 30. Yeah, you've never sold a Tesla 1180 and made that much money in your life. There's a 30% chance we get that high, 1180. People will look at that and think, I will sell that premium right now. Why wouldn't I collect that? 18 years, a 10% chance we get to 1275. And I can sell you that right now and make $450 all day. Now come back when we're not pricing in this mega move, that would be $1. That'd be $100. So this is where, last example I'll give you guys, AMC. I even have a video something about AMC where I use this as an example. You guys thought it was going to the moon. Ape Nation, Ape Gang, or whatever you guys said. Right here. See these lines? That's where I'm telling people it's probably not happening. Because if I was short this right now, and I'm having that phone call with my broker that, hey, you were short the next blockbuster, and it shot up, what kind of capital do you have to cover this? I'm going to tell them, hang on a second. I'm going to pin this right here. I'm going to bring YouTubers on the news, get everybody hyped. We're going to hold the price here. I'm going to sell every options contracts to all the YOLOers that have not the slightest clue in the world. And right? And you know how I just added capital? I took everyone else's money out of their account. You buying, if I'm selling you an options contract, just know that is easier than just going to the bank and you transferring me money. I don't know if I've even lost on an options contract that I've sold. I go way out of the money though. But just imagine how much money people made. The YOLOers piling in. There are people right now, when it gets this hype, they're jumping in. They're typing in all caps like you just saw. They're excited. They have no idea. But they buy some out-of-the-money crap because it's cheap. They can afford it. It's house money. They're gambling. They say all the cool stuff. No one likes just pissing away money. They're just trying and hoping. And it's that gambler's instinct that really fuels a lot of accounts out there. So I know this is just a long-winded way to say next week we're pricing in something crazy. Careful with the YOLOs. Some of you guys probably got really butthurt because I didn't say it's going to 1,500. Maybe I didn't say it was going to 700. Try to remember that I don't care. I'm here to make money. Regardless, I come on YouTube to talk about the trades where I make money, not to come on YouTube and hype you guys up and get ad revenue. Remember the reasons why everyone's here. But I did want to bring this to your attention because the YOLOs panned out this week. There's a difference in getting lucky and being successful. Luck will get you so far. It'll get you some winners. It'll get you some losers. Hopefully the winners stack up. So I'm going to end it here. But just imagine this. Let's just bring it because Tesla's already done this before. And maybe this isn't clear. Maybe you're new. I absolutely love Tesla, by the way. I've been talking about Tesla since after split. It's been like $40. Tesla's been the #1 ticker I've talked about since I started this YouTube channel. So I'm not a Tesla bear by any means, but I'm also not stupid when we get these runs like this. Okay, we might go sideways and then pull back. If that's the case, I might end up taking a loss on those puts because we just went sideways a little bit too long and then the sell-off happens. Here's the actual trend. Now, I don't want to say the actual trend. I don't like using definite words or anything like that. Let's say this is the trend that Tesla's increasing at. We got a little carried away. It's time to come back down. If you had your 40,000 EMAs up here, they'd look like a stretched out slinky. It's not the time to enter long. You got to wait till we get it back. You will get a better entry. But if you want to take the risk and you think it's going to 1,300, all I ask you is what is your plan and where is your stop, right? I think it's going to go to 1,300. I'm going to risk that it's going to go to 1,300. But hey, if it breaks that $1,100 mark, I'm out. I give it to 1085. That's how much per share I'm losing. I'm going to risk that amount, and I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna swing for the fences. You're going to be right or you're going to be wrong. Take your ideas, put your money where your mouth is, and that's it. That your only two outcomes are to be right or wrong. I promise it's going to go up or down. That's it. So I'll end it here, but I definitely want to ask you guys, how did you trade this? If you follow me on my Twitter, I did a poll. Did you buy calls? Did you buy puts? Or did you just not enter it? So I'm going to try to be active on Twitter. It seems like an easier one I can get a hold of. It might just be for a month. You guys know how I am on social media. But I do like interacting with you guys. So follow me on there and go vote on that or comment down below and tell me how you traded this. Congrats on how much you guys made. That's cool. But if you want to impress me or anybody else in the chat, tell me your plan. Not you made $100. Not you made $1,200. Not even $12,000. Congrats on the dollar amount. I'm more curious you had a plan. That will impress me. I got in here. I was going to get out here, and it panned out awesomely. That's what I want to hear. And so other than that, you guys will see me Sunday. One after futures open, we'll break this thing down. Again, we'll talk about the futures, see where we're at, see where the market's going. It did have quite the day today. So very curious. We do have the Feds talking next week. Uh-oh. I'll see you guys Sunday.